Ciarán Kelly's team shows 3 late changes. Liam Doulahan comes in at right half back. Well, there's also an alteration on the other wing where Declan Byrne completes the line. The final change is the top of the right where Jim McEnany joins Owen O'Connor and Ryan Burns. The Royals look strong and well balanced from Paddy O'Rourke between the posts to corner forward Donal Lenihan. The half-forward line has changed slightly with the news that James Toher from Trim starts instead of the manager's son, James McEntee, and he joins Cillian O'Sullivan and Eamon Wallace. Meath playing from right to left in this opening half. And getting an early breakthrough. Coming through is Donald Keoghan. The space is there, he's going to shoot, and a great save. Brilliant save by Craig Lynch. But Louth were totally exposed. Breaking ball picked up by Brian Menton, being challenged by Porrick Smith. Meath starting confidently. Here's Porrick Harnan from Moynalby. Laying it off, and that is a sweet point. Graham Riley still has the magic, and he's back here with possession. Laying it off to Mickey Burke from Longwood. On the overlap, it's Graham Riley. He's going to chip it over the bar. It started with Graham Riley, it finished with Graham Riley. 4 points to 2. Meath fully deserving of their lead. And they're coming again, looking for more. Here's Ronan Jones, laying it off. There's a chance of a goal, and it's across the face. Should have been, could have been. And on this occasion, Cillian O'Sullivan missed the target. Tommy Durnan laying it back. Jim McEnany, that late replacement. Nice little 1-2. There's a chance of a goal, and it's gone over the bar. Anthony Williams at the end of the move. And they're coming again. Kurt Murphy. Hopping ball. Oh, a lovely layoff. This has to be a goal. Oh, what a save. Paddy O'Rourke saving from Porrick Smith. This should have been a goal, but Paddy O'Rourke, cat-like.
Straight for a put away.
Shane McEntee involved and sending it down to Brian McMahon. And away goes McMahon. He's heading for the goal. Back off the crossbar, and the goalkeeper has to be alert. Craig Lynch. Well, what an effort by Brian McMahon. Off the woodwork. There's drama in Parnell Park. Free is quickly taken. Louth winter counter-attack mode. Good running off the ball by Anthony Williams. Andy McDonald sending it in. Meath look a little bit under pressure here. Ball comes back outside. Referee says play on. It's lobbed in, and Paddy O'Rourke is there. And Paddy O'Rourke distributes the ball, but the referee has given a penalty. If it's not Paddy O'Rourke, it must be Conor McGill for a late challenge. It's a very harsh decision, but the referee has indicated a black card, and he's pointing to Conor McGill. A crucial moment in the Leinster Championship in Parnell Park. Oh, it's tucked away beautifully. Jim McEnany stroking it past Paddy O'Rourke. This is Donal Lenihan getting by the first challenge. Capable of scoring from inside the 20-metre line. Good score. This is Porrick Smith. Spreading it wide over towards Ryan Burns. Testing the stamina and fitness of the Meath cornerbacks. Really difficult angle. Oh, the goalkeeper did so well. Paddy O'Rourke hardly knew anything about it, to be honest, but he was in the right place. And Andy McEntee must be concerned. Here comes Paddy O'Rourke. And he's given the ball away to Ronan Holcroft. He's going to lob it in, and it's in the back of the net. Paddy O'Rourke was all over the place, I'm afraid. The kick out went straight to Holcroft. He saw the keeper was off his line, and what about this for a beautiful lob? Exquisite. But Paddy O'Rourke will have nightmares. And Meath, having conceded 2 goals, now find themselves a point behind. Here comes Ronan Jones laying it off. There's an opportunity here, and it's straight over the black spot. Good play, Meath. Louth are playing with a swagger. Sides level. Ryan Burns laying it off to James Carlow. Oh, that's a superb point. You wouldn't find better in the country anywhere. O'Rourke's kick out. Gathered by Graham Riley. Mark is given and away he goes. He lobs it in, and that is a brilliant point, Graham Riley. He still has the magic. Oh, beautifully fielded by Ronan Jones. Past the 45. Giving it to Graham Riley. He's the man on form. When Meath wanted a bit of leadership, they looked to this man. Kick out from Craig Lynch. Bypasses the first Louth player, and Meath have the possession again. Coming through is Ronan Jones. Laying it off to Cian O'Brien. Back to Jones. He hits it sweetly and just about over the bar. Craig Lynch had to tap it over. 5 points between the sides. And Louth haven't given up. Coming in at a difficult angle is the right half back, and Paddy O'Rourke can't save it. Conal McKeever manages to squeeze it past Paddy O'Rourke, and they're back in the game again. This one is really going to the wire, but the ball is given away. Donald Lenihan deep inside his own half of the field, laying it off. Where's Graham Riley, who's posed problems? A fair hit by Bevan Duffy. This could be the clinching moment for Meath. That is a sweet point. Full credit on this occasion to Thomas Riley. The kick out comes from Craig Lynch, but the full-time whistle blows in Parnell Park. Meath get across the line, but Louth really tested them. Full-time score, Meath 27 points, Louth 3-9.
You know, we were playing a sweeper role for the last couple of years, and we just felt it wasn't working, so we decided we'd push up today and have a cut. And probably just a bit too much for us. The quality showed through, and they were very, you know, good and value for the win.
We took a couple of hammer blows with each goal. It was kind of, I think each goal came against the run of play, and we responded fairly positively on each occasion. So that's probably the biggest positive from the day.
Well, Colin O'Rourke, you were at the game. You enjoyed it. 9-point margin. Is that a fair reflection?
Oh, it is, yeah. Meath were much the better team, even though you wouldn't see Meath winning by 9 points with 50 minutes gone. The sides were level. But it was a cracking open game up to that. It was sort of a throwback in style, and I can't ever remember Meath getting 27 points in the game. So both sides went at it, hammer and tongs. There was a lot of mistakes, but Meath were faster, they were fitter, they were stronger in the tackle. Louth got goals at crucial times, kept them in it, and there could have been 10 goals in the game. And I suppose the one thing, Meath's performance was very good up front. The forwards were very, very good, but certainly, yeah, I would say management and the players themselves will not be happy with the defensive display.
Yeah. Overall, are Meath moving forward in your view?
Absolutely. Meath were very fit, very hungry. They were good in the tackle today. They turned over the ball quite a lot. Louth were a bit naive at times, and I suppose, you know, they've made rapid progress under Colin Kelly. Like, they've come from the 4th division now to the 2nd division, but they have a young team, but they weren't as physically strong as Meath, and it showed.
But in fairness to Louth, Pat, Colin Kelly made the point there, they decided to push up and have a go at Meath today.
They did. Well, you know, I must compliment both teams, because it was a good old-fashioned game of football. There was no blanket defences. There was no 14 men behind the ball. It was a lovely, open, attacking game of football where both teams set out to win the game by trying to outscore the other. And you had 39 scores today. Louth, look, they've had 2 successive promotions. I think over the last 2 matches, since they finished the league campaign, they were disappointing in the league final against Tipperary. They were struggled over the line against Wicklow. And I think, you know, today, the scoreline flat them in a way, because they got 3, arguably 2 very soft goals. But like, credit to Meath, they looked very, very impressive, and particularly in the last 25 minutes when they really opened up.
Yeah, show us this. You were talking to me about the movement.
Well, I thought their forward display today was absolutely magnificent. 27 points, 20 from play, and there was such variety to the play. But I just picked out a couple of clips because they were brilliant all through. The movement, the support play, the angles of running. You know, they always took the right option, always getting the right fella on the ball, and a nice score here from James Toher. Now, the variety is showing here where that was a nice passing movement, good angles running. Now, this is the exact opposite. Lovely 40-yard kick ball, forward showing for the ball, good movement good movement running off the shoulder, a lovely ball into Killian O'Sullivan, jinky player, lovely player, and a nice ball with the left foot. Watch this. We're talking, Kieran Whelan alluded to it last week about maybe the long kick out as it comes. This was a long kick out from Paddy O'Rourke, reached the middle of the field, got to Donald Lennon, nice again, interpassing, watch fellas making good runs on and off the ball, and again the option taking is right. Brian McMahon coming around in a loop and scoring. Like the decisive spell, there was an 8-minute spell in the second half where Meath reeled off 7 points in a row, but it was a really impressive display from the forwards.
For the last 25 minutes, Meath got 14 points.
To one goal.
So that was the decisive, and I think it showed that Meath were very, very fit and very strong, and they also were able to bring on a couple of subs like Rory O'Killan and Tomás O'Reilly, who scored 2 points each in that time.
Will Kildare have a sweeper, do you think, against them now?
Yeah, I think it'll be a different game, but when Kildare played Meath in the first round of the league in Navan, I was at the game, and Kildare absolutely destroyed Meath in that game, won by about 10 points. Now Meath are a lot better now, a much different team than they were then.
And Graham Riley caught your eye today of all of them?
Well, he certainly did. He was the captain. He's the captain of the team this year, and when Meath were in trouble in the middle of the second half and struggling, he scored some great points. Here in the beginning of the game, he's coming here at pace and kicks over a great point. So he kicked 7 points from play, 2 in the first half, 5 in the second half. And, you know, he's always been a player when he ends up on the end of a move that he can always... But today, there's a ball he picked out in the middle of the field. And again, Meath needed him at the three-quarter stage of the game when the signs were level. And he really stepped up to the plate today. His work rate was good. His fitness levels have improved. And he's a very strong runner. Maybe some of the lads thought he should have laid that one off for a goal, but he scored 7 brilliant points.
If there's one negative, I mean, from their attacking display, the fact that they didn't score a goal, and they certainly had 4 clear goal-scoring chances. But look, it's something to work on for the next day.
27 points.
Oh, it's something to work at.
If they keep scoring that, they'll have no trouble winning the All-Ireland.
All right then. Well, now let's see the highlights from the 2 other Leinster football quarter-finals. In a moment, we'll see last night's clash between Dublin and Carlow. But first, it's this afternoon's meeting in Tullamore of Laois and Kildare. Paul O'Neill reports.
Kildare's previous competitive outing was all of 8 weeks ago when they met Galway in the Allianz League Division 2 final, while Laois overcame Longford in a provincial first-round clash last month. And Laois were quickly into their stride, with Donny Kingston cutting through the Kildare defence to net inside the first 60 seconds. Kildare, though, quickly found their feet, and a Cathal McNally point brought the deficit down to the minimum. They were starting to show the benefits of the training camp they held in Portugal 2 weeks ago. After scoring his opening point off his right foot, McNally used his left to push the Lily-Whites ahead for the first time in the game. His point left them ahead on a scoreline of 4 points to a goal. Kildare were playing with the wind at their backs in the opening half, and Daniel Flynn used it to his advantage here, after dispossessing Dennis Booth, who judged the breeze perfectly to land the first of his 4 scores. It was largely one-way traffic at this stage. Even Kildare number 4, Ollie Lyons, was able to surge upfield and find the target. As Cian O'Neill's side continued to dominate, debutant David Slattery set up Flynn for another attempt. The point left Kildare 2 to the good, as Laois still found the going tough. Kildare reeled off 7 unanswered points in the closing 12 minutes of the opening half to take a firm grip. Paul Cribben's point left it 12 points to 1-2 in favour of Kildare at the interval. After the break, Kildare continued to hold the upper hand. A well-worked move might have led to a goal chance for Niall Kelly, but he was happy to take the point as their advantage stretched into double figures. Just 14 minutes into the second half, many Laois fans started to stream out of the ground after Kildare grabbed a goal. Slattery was the provider as Flynn found the net, as the scoreboard now read 116 to 1-3 to Kildare. Laois needed a goal if they were to possibly have any chance of clawing their way back, but Alan Farrell's 50th minute point, which was their first from play, was the best they could muster in terms of an immediate response. Substitute Gary Walsh went close to adding a second Laois goal late on. Keeper Mark Donlan, though, was able to produce a comfortable save. Kildare almost had another goal as their superior fitness continued to tell. Fionn Dowling saw his shot blocked by Pádraig McMahon. One of the pluses for Laois was the performance of Walsh. His point was the last score of the game as Kildare marched into the semi-finals for the 7th year in a row, leaving Laois to head for the All-Ireland qualifiers as they lost by 121 to 1-7.
Yeah, I just think that the team ethic, you know, the work rate out there, we always knew that Laois were going to bring a huge physicality to the game, and they did that, and they did it well and caused us a lot of problems, you know. It's just how we tried to match that physically, you know, and then bring some of our own football into that equation as well. And I think the combination of the two really served us well. I thought we pushed on at the end, you know, our fitness really told.
Kildare were, you know, much the better team on today, and you know, rang out comfortable winners in the end, I suppose. So look, it's disappointing for us and disappointing for the players. You know, we're doing quite okay for about 20-25 minutes the first half, but I think the 3 or 4 points they tagged on before the half-time break really, you know, put us on the back foot for the second half.
The All-Ireland and Leinster champions look strong in every line, from goalkeeper Stephen Cluxton to top of the left Dean Rock. James McCarthy moves from his usual 5 to the number 9 jersey. Up front, interesting to see how cool as Conor Callahan performs at full forward. Centre forward Dara Foley captains a Carlow side will be full of passion and determination, but the real concern for Carlow is how the back 6, led by Shane Redmond and Daniel St. Ledger, will cope with the Dublin forwards. This is O'Moore Park, Portlaoise. Carlow playing from left to right. It really is, to use that cliche, David versus Goliath here. Recycling it. Could this be the opening score? It's high, and it's over the bar. What about that? Wonderful kick by Brendan Murphy. Might be known nationwide, but around Carlow and around Leinster, he is one of the best. And Carlow people are rejoicing. Quick ball inside to McCaffrey. Looks around, as nobody readily available under severe pressure. That is a brilliant point. Great work by Dublin. This is the breaking ball as McCaffrey latched onto it. Good work here by the defender. The kickouts are not working for Carlow, I'm afraid. Craig Carney, I would suggest, should be going short a lot more often. Even Dublin almost get their passes astray, but they still survive the challenge, and through sheer hard work scramble that between the posts. Good work again by Jack McCaffrey. Left or right, whatever way you like it, Jack is able to supply it for his team. Here come Dublin now. Good work by Eric Lowndes. Kieran Kilkenny. Simplicity in motion. Get into a good position and have a go. And the Castleknock man took his chance. Carlow come away with it. Something I would suggest they should have been doing a lot more of. Pass inside is not a great one for John Murphy. And the Carlow corner forward is fouled. Seemed to be a soft free now, I have to tell you. 50-50 ball. It was just a touch, barely. There was a little trip, more accidental, and I think that's the reason why the free was given. Here comes Dara Foley's kick. And that is over the bar. Good score by the Carlow captain. And not a bad scoreline at half-time. Dublin 8 points, Carlow 5. Just 3 points between the teams, but history would suggest that Dublin should come good in this second half. They haven't lost a match in Leinster since going down to Meath in the 2010 semi-final, 7 years ago. Good opportunity here for a point, and a good defending Carlow. Danger still imminent. There's a chance here of a goal, and it's off the post. Kevin McMenamin was going for it big time. Woodwork depriving corner forward from St. Jude's and Ballantyre of a cracking goal. But now there's more trouble here. It's a second yellow, followed by a red. So one of Carlow's best footballers is gone from this Leinster Championship match. For a second yellow offence, Carlow are down to 14 players. Let's see what happened here. There was a pullback here on Johnny Cooper. Totally unnecessary, very silly. And to be perfectly honest, he is a huge loss, but he should have known better. And away come Dublin in that crucial centre field area. Diarmuid Connolly laying it off. Gone inside for the return pass. It's Kieran Kilkenny once more. Shoots and scores. Second point of the afternoon and evening for the Castleknock man. Mark Schutte. Bernard Brogan, simple but so effective. Scored the first with the right, scored the second with the left. Can't ask more from a corner forward, can you? Stylish and classic. It's game over for Carlow. The Dublin fans who travel down the motorway will be reasonably pleased without being overawed. Full-time score in Moore Park, Portlaoise. It's Dublin 19 points, Carlow 7.
At half-time, we realised, lads, we're really testing these boys. If we can regroup and, just continue to do what we've been doing, we're going to win this game right till the very end. So, unfortunately, then we're down a man with Brendan got the sending off, and really it was game over at that stage when we're down to 14 men.
We knew we'd have a tough assignment against Carlow, and probably set out as we thought they would. A lot of the 14 players, outfield players, did most of them behind the ball for most of the game, and so it was going to be kind of a slow process to go through that. But we racked up 19 points in the game, and happy for that.
And so here is the Leinster semi-final lineup. Kildare will play Meath on June the 17th. It's Dublin versus Offaly or Westmeath on June the 25th. Right then, Pat, your impressions of Dublin's performance?
Well, first of all, can I just give credit to Carlow? They came with a game plan to frustrate the Dubs. They stuck to the game plan all too, never gave up, and showed great pride. And in Sean Murphy, what a warrior. It was a great display last night. But look, at the end of the day, they never ever looked like winning the game. The Dubs will be happy, a 12-point winning margin. That was their average winning margin last year in Leinster. They never looked like losing the game. They won playing badly. I would worry about certain aspects of the performance and little signs we saw.
What would you worry about?
The sign I saw during the league, the way Dubs struggled against Tyrone, when Tyrone set up a blanket defence. Against Tyrone that night in Croke Park, one Dublin forward got 1 point from play. That was in the 61st minute. They struggled against Donegal with a blanket defence. And again yesterday with Carlow, they struggled with Carlow's blanket defence. Scored no goal, created half a goal scoring chance. And in the first half, when the game was certainly in the balance for a certain amount, 2 forwards scored from play. So it gives
it's a tighter pitch though, Portlaoise.
It doesn't matter. Croke Park was where they played Tyrone and they still struggle. So it's a chink of light because Kerry showed in the league final how to beat the Dubs, and Carlow gave a little bit of a lesson for a while yesterday on chinks in their armour.
OK, and what about the fact it was an interesting team selection from Jim Gavin because he shook it up column, didn't he? Brought in several youngsters compared to last year.
Yeah, well, maybe he's planning for the future. Jim, I think, intends to stay forever as Dubs manager, so he's looking at integrating some of the under-21 players. So there's a lot of young talent in Dublin. Maybe Mark Schutte could be the next coming in there as well. So there is a lot of talent there. They're going to be pushing the older players. But I don't know what the Dubs can do against the blanket defence. Like, every team struggles against the blanket defence. And I think they were on a loser last night. Everybody expected them to win. It was no big deal. I don't really think anybody should look into that much at all.
I'll tell you, Colin, I'll disagree with you.
But 19 points is a big score.
Of course it is. But you know what? Dublin didn't have a great year. They won the All-Ireland last year, but they never produced a great
year.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is they never had a brilliant performance last year. What I see about this Dublin team of 2 years ago, what is their best quality? When they play a high-tempo game, they're brilliant, they're unbeatable, because they have more pace than any other team. And I just feel nowadays, in their build-up, in their attacking play, it's much slower, it's much more lateral, it's much more ponderous, and I don't think it's playing to their strengths.
Well, the reality of it is that no team can play against a blanket defence the way that Carlow. You have to be very patient and play the ball back and forward. And I think that it's very obvious too. Dublin won whatever number of leagues along with the All-Irelands. And it's, to me, it's very obvious that they haven't put anything like the same emphasis on the league this year. And it ended up that they got to the final, and of course Kerry beat them. But it does appear to me anyway that Jim Gavin is planning for August already, and that there's going to be a big push for the 3 in a row. And all of this is shadow boxing at the moment.
And Colin, worried about Carlow because, as Pat said, they did very well, but losing Brendan Murphy was a huge blow to them because it was early enough in the second half to 2 yellow cards.
Yes, well, Brendan Murphy is Carlow's outstanding player, and it brings a certain responsibility with it. Now, I thought the referee had a very, very poor game last night anyway, but this was the first thing here. He gives him a yellow card for a high tackle. It's not a high tackle. He signals when he's given him the yellow card that it's a high tackle. It certainly wasn't that. So he's on a yellow card, and if you're on a yellow card, then you have to keep your nose clean. And here, this is silly. That's very, very poor personal discipline on Brendan Murphy's part. And the referee then had no option. OK, people can argue he shouldn't have got the first yellow card, but when he did get it, he certainly should have been keeping out of trouble.
The other big talking point afterwards was the Dermot Connolly and the linesman incident, Pat.
Well, it was, and sadly, you know, I mean, this is black or white. This is a very obvious thing. Dermot was infuriated that a sideline decision went it, and not giving the ball back. But I mean, the pictures here tell it all. A picture tells 1,000 words. Clearly going to Kieran Brannigan, the linesman, clearly putting his hand on the sideline man, which he's not entitled to do. Clearly pushing the linesman, which he's not entitled to do, and clearly with his finger pointed, threatening the linesman. That is regarded as minor.
Hang on, he could be saying it was our ball.
Well, you know? he put his hands on the linesman, he pushed the linesman back, and sorry, a finger pointed in somebody's face sounds to me like threatening. But look, bottom line, to me, it's Rule 5, minor physical interference. It carries a penalty of 12 weeks suspension.
Here's the rule, Pat. Colin, have a look.
Well, the rule is very clear. It's sort of a minor physical interference. Now, it was minor physical interference, but Dermot Connolly is a man who lives on the edge, and of course he's had a couple of black cards this year. Got one against Monaghan that I thought he shouldn't have got one in the league final. Now, that has nothing to do with that incident last night, but he's a player that gets frustrated easily. He was playing poorly, got himself involved in a scrape, and really could pay a heavy price for it.
I mean, does he get targeted? I mean, 3 fellas run for him.
Through the history of Gaelic football, every good forward has been targeted. It's up to Dermot Connolly to have the discipline to go out and play, knowing every game he goes out he's going to be targeted by at least one of the opposition. What does he expect teams are going to do with him?
You prod a bear, you get a reaction. You prod Dermot Connolly, you antagonise Dermot Connolly, and you always get a reaction. Look, bottom line, in his defence, you can say the linesman didn't bring it to the referee's attention. You might point to the fact that perhaps the referee didn't see it. But look, you had a similar offence in a club match with Evan Comerford, the Tipperary goalie lately. Well, it was a minor physical, it was under the same thing, and it was minor physical appearance.
Do you know what he did?
Minor physical interference with a referee, which is as stated here. So it looks like 12 weeks.
Well, and Kieran McGeeney got 12 weeks too for a problem with a linesman. So, but you cannot compare. That's the incident. Dermot Connolly, he doesn't come out of it looking good. No. And for me, he's been the best player, or one of the best players for the past 5 or 6 years. But there's always this edge to his game, and he crossed the line last night.
All right then, what about Laois and Kildare? That was an impressive scoring performance from Kildare, Pat.
It was indeed. 1 goal and 21 points, 1 goal and 18 points on play. I'll tell you this, I remember somebody asking me last year, if you ever were a county manager, outside of the top 3 or 4 teams, which county in Ireland would you love to manage? I'd love to manage Kildare, because I think they have great athleticism, great pace, but you know, a great physique. But what they really have is brilliant forwards. And Cian O'Neill was down in Kerry for a couple of years. He has been playing a Kerry style of football, attacking-wise, kicking the ball, first-time ball. They were absolutely superb again today. They're promoted to Division 1, and I'm really looking forward to themselves and Meath, which should be, I think, a high-scoring shootout.
And they've a lot of very good in the Flynns, the Cribbins, Niall Kelly, Tommy Mulick, they've Ollie Lyons coming from the back. A lot of athleticism in the team, and I think Meath and Kildare have both improved significantly over the last year, so it's going to be an interesting battle.
But they both gave us 2 excellent performances today,
All right,
2
then.
attacking performances.
Well, you heard it here first. Come and get me, pleads Spillane to Kildare. After the break, we're going to head north. The last time down, tasting